Hey, what's going on, guys? Rhino here, and I'm responding to another comment I got. This one's going to be a little different because this isn't hate mail. I know typically I title it as hate mail, even if it's not hate mail, but this is a comment my friend sent me literally right after I finished my last video. Finished editing my last video, and I wanted to upload it. And first off, let me point out that I'm wearing a great shirt for the occasion. Believe in yourself. It's an atheist shirt. It's a really cool shirt. I like it. I bought that and another one. Yeah, perfect shirt for the occasion. This is a Christian-related comment. It's on my video about my response to 6 reasons why God exists, which I believe I found. Yeah, I found a website. This video was made a little while ago, but I found a website that said 6 reasons God exists. And it failed to provide any sort of scientific, testable, empirical evidence for the existence of a god. It was just like pathetic little evidences that have been debunked hundreds of times that aren't even close to true evidences. Luckily, this comment doesn't have to do with the actual things I was responding to. It has to do with the things I said in the video. So this person, it's not something that I'm going to have to go through and re-tear apart the arguments that I said in the video, because he wasn't reiterating those comments that I was responding to. He made his own based on what I said in the video, and I'm going to respond to it. He does say something in it that kind of makes me a little angry, because it's a generalization about atheism that's completely false, that's been debunked tons of times, but I'll try to keep my cool, and let's just get through this. Based on the way the comment is formatted on the screen, I'm not going to be able to edit it in on the screen here. I'm sorry, but it's like one of those like thicker ones, and so yeah, it won't show up on the screen, but I will read it word for word first, and then I'll break it down piece by piece. So if you really need it that badly, I would suggest opening up a notepad and typing it as I go along. Feel free to pause and play and stuff to get the comment in. That way you can review it, or you can look at it while I'm reviewing it, tearing it apart piece by piece. So here it goes. This is what the comment says. Okay. Yes, you have the complete right to your opinion. And no, I'm not here to shove religion down your throat. But did you really have to act like such a jerk about it? Yes, I agree. Some Christians just say God did it when they don't know the answer, but many atheists just say they don't know. I think that's just as bad. And have you ever even thought maybe God made so many different planets that can support life for us to see how awesome he is? Or maybe there's true life on other planets? One more thing I'd like to point out is you say you don't believe in hell, which makes me assume you don't believe in heaven either. So when you die, where do you think you will go? You just think it's the end? Or how about the human nature between us knowing between right and wrong? With your logic, since there is no God, why can't we just go around murdering everybody? All of this couldn't have happened for luck, and the stereotypes about Christianity is absolutely crazy in this video. All right, so let's start from the top and work our way down. Okay, yes, you have the complete right to your opinion. Thank you. I agree. Everyone has the right to their own opinion on any matter. I believe people have the right to their own opinions that that Hitler was a great guy. You know, whatever. It's their opinion. It's their opinion. I agree with you. And no, I'm not here to shove religion down your throat. And I agree, you don't do that here. Thank you for that. Thank you for not doing that. But did you really have to act like such a jerk about it? I didn't really have time to go through and review the video that I made originally, but I really don't feel like I was ever a jerk about things. I feel like I was just blatant. I was just responding to things in a straightforward way. I don't feel like I was a jerk about it. I've never said people are idiots for believing in God. I've never truly insulted people. And if I have, I apologize. I don't mean to be a jerk. I'm just trying to state my beliefs and why I believe your beliefs are incorrect, or why your beliefs are incorrect factually. I try not to be an asshole about it, and if I am, I'm sorry. You can call me on it, and I will agree with you fully. I'll say I'll apologize. Once again, if I don't feel like I was a jerk, but if I was, I apologize. My bad. Yes, I agree. Some Christians just say God did it when they don't know the answer, but many atheists just say they don't know. I think that's just as bad. No, it's not. Actually, most Christians just say God did it. I'd say I can say most Christians, but it's saying I don't know isn't just as bad. Saying I don't know is an honest answer instead of replacing it with something supernatural. As well as we don't just say I don't know. We say I don't know yet. There's a hole in science. So Like, let's just, for example, the Big Bang. We know the Big Bang happened. What came before the Big Bang, that's where the hole is. We're like, okay, we don't know what came before the Big Bang. We don't know if there was a before the Big Bang. We don't know anything about that because it's really, really hard to study and really hard to look at, especially since we're 14 billion years. No, somewhere around there into since the Big Bang happened. And so, you know, it's hard to study something that far back, especially what happened before that. And so that's something we're working on. There's a hole in science that we're trying to study, we're trying to figure out. And so when someone says, okay, well, what came before the Big Bang theory, the Big Bang? I don't know yet. I strongly believe that science, farther down the road, probably quite a ways down the road, will be able to solve this question. What came before the Big Bang? We say I don't know yet because we honestly don't know yet, and we're not going to substitute God in there. I don't know is a lot better answer than God did it, because you're lying to yourself and placing a supernatural cause there. And if everyone were to accept that, then we would never study what actually came before the Big Bang, because we would have a supposed sufficient answer to the question. If everyone believed that God did it, then we would never know what came before the Big Bang. And that's something I really want to know. I want to know the factual truth, what is able to be proven. If we run some test and it turns out, well, God actually did do it, then great. We found the actual true answer. That's what I care about. So when I say I don't know, it's because science doesn't know it yet, but we will eventually, which I believe it's opinionated, but I believe, and a lot of people believe, is a lot better than just saying God did it. And then, and have you ever thought maybe God made so many different planets that can support life for us to see how awesome he is, or maybe there's true life on other planets? Well, actually, I believe that there probably is life on other planets. I don't know yet. We're yet to see. But there is no demonstrated evidence that a God exists. You'd have to first prove that a God exists, and then I could believe that he made all these planets and stuff. You can't just basically what you're doing here, and what a lot of Christians do, is they come up with the answer God exists, and then they find evidence to support it. So they say God exists, and they're like, oh, well, all the planets in the Goldilocks zone, well, God obviously made that to show how awesome he is, or God works in mysterious ways. It's the confirmation bias. You come up with the answer, and then you just you find evidence to support that. You don't look at it factually. If a God existed and he created the universe as is, it was a very inefficient way to do it. That especially for if you look at the size of the universe and the tiny speck we live at a random point in a random place in a very inhospitable area, it's just very, very inefficient. Am I saying it's impossible? No. God, you have to demonstrate that it's the God you believe in, but a God could have done it. I'm fully aware of that. I'm just stating that isn't proof that he does exist. And if a God does exist, he or she, or it, they do things very inefficiently. Is the best way to put it. Even if there was life on every single planet in the Goldilocks zone in the universe, it's still a very inefficient pattern. It's a very inefficient system to do things as they are. But yes, they could very well be a God that exists, that did it that way. But I don't believe that's how he would do it. And if you wanted to show how awesome he is, there's a lot better ways he could do it than creating planets in a Goldilocks zone far away that we have to develop science to actually even locate and figure out, which I would say is even more inefficient than what I previously stated. One more thing I'd like to point out is you say you don't believe in heaven, you don't believe in hell, which makes me assume you don't believe in heaven either. So when you die, where do you think you will go? You think it's just the end? Yes. There is no scientific proof whatsoever that there's a soul. So yes, my awareness is based on my consciousness, which is based on my brain. My brain is what holds the consciousness, nothing else. And when I die, so I die, and then your brain typically lives up to 12 minutes after you die. and then my brain will shut off, and then I'm gone. Basically, the best way to think of it is it's like a light bulb, just on, consciousness, off, dead. And then the best way to put it into perspective is just think about what it was like before you were born. That's you're just returning to that, to what it was like before you were born. You don't remember it, but just think, okay, what was it like in 1500s? What did it feel like in the 1500s? Well, it didn't feel like anything. I didn't exist, and that's what I believe it'll be like after death. There isn't okay. Once again, there's no scientific proof that clearly states that that's what happens after death, but in order for me to believe otherwise, you'd have to demonstrate that your God exists and that your religion is true, because there are a lot of other religions that have different beliefs in different types of heavens, different types of hells, and different gods, and you'd have to demonstrate yours to exist first. And that's just what I believe, because that's what's most likely to happen based on what we know about the brain and consciousness. I'm not stating that it's 100% true. So yes, I do believe it's the end, and that's what almost every atheist believes. Most people believe that. Most people either believe in heaven or hell, reincarnation, or the end. It's just the end. And it's a pretty common belief. I think you probably should do a little more research on atheism. Not saying you said anything wrong here in that part, but you don't seem to get a grasp on what atheists believe and what they don't believe and stuff like that. I would just suggest doing it. It might be something that interests you, especially if you are interested in this type of video. And then this is the part that kind of makes me mad. Or how about the human nature between us knowing between right and wrong? With your logic, since there is no God, why can't we just go around murdering everybody? Okay, so this is something that has been scientifically proven wrong. Okay, but I'm going to answer this first. The reason why we don't go around murdering everybody is something called empathy. It's a human trait that humans have developed through evolution. You want to treat others the way you want to be treated. I treat others nicely because I want to be treated nicely. Humans have developed empathy through evolution, and because of that, we don't go murdering at people. And then also laws stand in the way. My state has the death penalty, so if I were to go out murdering people, I would die. I would be put to death, which would be a great motivator not to do it. Aside from the fact that I don't want to murder people. Who was it? I think it was Penn Jillette. It was quoted saying something along the lines of, like, when people say this, like, why don't you go around murdering and raping all you want? Well, I do go around murdering and raping all I want. 0. I don't want to rape or murder anybody. Well, that's how I am. I don't want to rape or murder anybody. And if the only thing preventing you from raping and murdering people is your religion, then I would be scared as to what kind of human being you are. I developed my desire to make other people happy and treat other people well without any sort of religion whatsoever. And so it's just a human emotion that was developed through evolution that we can trace. It's a beneficial trait to have empathy. But on this issue, I would highly, highly suggest watching any debates from Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, or Christopher Hitchens, because when it comes to atheism, this is something that's brought up repeatedly over and over, and they're able to respond to this very well. And if you want to take it one step further, I would suggest emailing a neuroscientist, as someone who studies the brain, as they would, or probably an evolutionary biologist would be able to answer this well too. But just email them this question; they will be able to answer it. There's no reason why we would go around murdering everybody. It would be exactly the same. Religion is not what should be holding you back from doing that, or belief in a god. In fact, there is real proof of this right now. Norway and Sweden are secular states. They have almost entirely atheist communities, and they have ever since religion has been dying, as atheism has been growing in Norway and Sweden, the crime rate has been plummeting. It's been going way down. And the countries with the most crime are the most religious countries in the world. I mean, look at the Middle East. Those are the most fucking crazy religious people in the world. And they, well, I mean, it's not crimes there, but what we consider crimes, they commit all the time in disgusting ways. And it's just, it's kind of baffling that you would need a God to do right and wrong. And since you're taking this a little step further, you're saying that God did something. Well, you would have to once again demonstrate that your God exists as opposed to some other God, and there still has been no scientific, testable, falsifiable evidence for any gods. But yeah, I would highly suggest doing a little bit of research on your question, as it's been debunked by a lot of. Actually, I think David Silverman has done a few debates too, where he refutes this very well. But any of those 4 guys that I mentioned, including David Silverman, have responded to this numerous times, and they do a lot more in-depth responses. And I would suggest watching them, as that's probably a good way to get an answer to your question. As I'm not a scientist, so I don't really do a lot of research on this question because it's not a very accurate question. It has nothing to do with the existence of a God. It just has to do with an atheistic society. But whatever. And then your last part, all of this couldn't have happened for luck, and the stereotypes about Christianity is absolutely crazy in this video. Well, all of this couldn't have happened for luck. Yeah, it could have. I don't know where you're getting. You'd have to demonstrate that this couldn't have happened for luck. But based on all the scientific evidence we have, it basically has happened for luck. At least the universe coming to be, and us, like Earth being in the perfect spot, has been luck. Evolution is not. Evolution is survival of the fittest. Evolution is systematic. You evolve to have better traits, and so the reason we are here today isn't based on luck from an evolutionary standpoint, but from a Big Bang standpoint, yes. All scientific evidence points to luck, does not point to a greater being at all. There's been no scientific evidence whatsoever for any of it. And if you think there has been, you're probably looking at a religious website. Don't look at a religious website for science. Look at a scientist. Look at a science website for science, as it would have a lot better information. But yeah, it could have happened for luck. And the stereotypes of Christianity is absolutely crazy in this video. I'm sorry if I did stereotype Christianity. I don't remember, but what I typically do is I stereotype. When I say Christians say this or Christians say that, based on actual arguments presented to me in the comments, in messages, in tweets, on Skype, or in actual debates on YouTube, or like the Ken Ham debate, like live professional debates. These are stereotypes. Basically, I try not to make them as a stereotype. I say Christians say because it has been said by numerous Christians, and I'm trying to address that specific argument. In terms of stereotyping Christians, it's kind of hard to, because with so many denominations, ranging from very, very relaxed to, Baptist, best way to put it. You can't really stereotype Christians in any way except for, believing in a God, believing in heaven and hell. That's about it. Any other stereotypes I made, I apologize, but they weren't meant to be stereotypes exactly. But that's about it. Yeah, that's my response to your comment. I'm sorry if I was rude, but that's how it is. I'm pretty blatant about things, and I'm sorry if that offended you. But that's about it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, rate, subscribe, and have a nice day.